the NPV and then you sub it in, right? And that will give you the remainder. But in this case, you've been given the remainder. It's already told you what the remainder is. That's the remainder. So what we know, what's my non-divisible value? X cannot equal -4. So that's what I'm subbing in. So we would normally find the remainder when you go -4 cubed plus k times -4 plus 6. Right? And then, but here's the thing, I got a variable here and a variable here. When you have two variables, you can't solve, you can rearrange, but you can't solve. But the thing is, you know what R is. It gave it to you, and you know that it's -18. So I've got -18 equals -4 cubed plus k times -4 plus 6. So you're finding that coefficient of k. So -4 cubed is going to be a -64. Basic one-step algebra. So, but if you didn't know to put the -18 there, you wouldn't have been able to solve this with two variables. So chances are you would have gotten no marks for this question if you didn't know where to put that -18. But you all know where to put the -18. So this is going to be, if I bring this 58 to the -58 to the other side, +40 equals -4k. What's k equal to? -10. So nothing hard mathematical, it's just being able to sub it in. And I will tell you that there's lots of stuff like this on the provincial exam where the math isn't really hard, but you have to slow down and actually use your thinker. Because some people might have screwed this up, including me. -4 cubed, oh, it's 16, move on. Right? But it's not -16, and that's just such a simple transcription error that will cost you marks. Okay, so the volume of the box. What are the possible dimensions of the box in terms of x if the height is x plus 1? Okay, first of all, how do we find volume of the box? Volume is equal to length times width times height. You're going to be expected to know that. Really. And have like area of a square, of a rectangle, you're going to have to know that it's not showing up on any part of the sheet. It is. It is. We can do it optimizing it, so we can do it maxing it. But we don't know all that stuff yet. It doesn't say what, it just says what are the possible dimensions. It doesn't say to maximize volume. So if you ever watch the language, we're still going to kind of do the same thing. So we know that the volume is represented by x cubed plus 7x squared plus 14x plus 8. And that's equal to the length times the width times by the height, which is x plus 1. So how am I going to isolate length times width? How am I going to isolate these variables? I'm going to divide this side by x plus 1. That's okay. That also means you weren't listening to me, but that's okay too. I'll try not to take it. Yeah. So with that, what am I going to do? So I'm dividing this, right? So what am I going to do? Synthetic division, right? I'm going to do synthetic divisions for this. I contacted the Department of Ed guy in Melbourne about our provincial exam, and would you be at a deficit if you only knew synthetic division? He said not in pre-calculus, but it might be a deficit if you're going to take calculus as a later date. So just FYI, we can use it for our calc course, but when you get to first year calc, long division may be helpful because long division shows you how to do something like x cubed plus 7x squared plus 14x plus 8. Coefficient on the x. You can't do that in synthetic division. In grade 12 pre-calc, we never have a coefficient on the x, but in calculus you might. So, but I have faith that you guys can do that with a quick little lesson. I'm hesitant to go into long division with you. I might show it to you later as a side note, but I think we'll just stick with synthetic division now. But I didn't check, so I wasn't going to screw you over for your entire life just for university calculus. I think that's okay. So negative 1 on the outside. No. Is it negative 1? It's positive 1. I'm subtracting. I have all the degrees represented, so I'm going to keep that. So 1, 7, 14 is 8. 1 gets carried down. 1 times 1 is still 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 14 minus 6 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. That's going to give me 0. So that's my remainder, my constant, my x, and my x squared. You're not done yet. So we know that length times width is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 8. I'm not going to put in the 0 over something. You'll be okay. Oh, I don't know what was happening there. I'm not done yet because I'm looking for all the possible dimensions. Now what do I do? Any suggestions? What two things multiply together to give me this trinomial? So we know that one of these dimensions is the length, and one of these dimensions is the width. We don't know which one is what. So we know that the height was given as x plus 1. We're going to make an assumption. We'll say the length is x plus 2, and the width is x plus 1. Just for fun. You could have flipped it around and you would have, like, the answer, like, you could have said the length was x plus 4 and the width was x plus 2. That would be fine as well. That's it. That's 3.2 in a nutshell. And you all did your homework without